On trends today, GEH GEH University, NUC pushes to address misuse of the term university on social media. NLC opposes proposed salary hike for political office holders. Falana demands EFCC transfer recovered 32.7 billion naira to NSIPA. And Benue Assembly Speaker resigns amidst political turmoil. Good afternoon and welcome to today's special edition of Trends with LJE, where we dissect leadership, economic and justice issues in Nigeria, Africa and the globe to provide lasting solutions. And joining me today are very, very special panels. Do well to join us after this break. Do stay.
Hi guys! So I came across a studio here in Abuja where you can just walk in and shoot any video of your choice. Podcast sessions, talk shows, and even live programs. They have beautiful colored lights. You can choose the one you want. They have teleprompter in case you want to read from a script. You can bring in your guests or someone you would love to talk to. You can do football gist, celebrity gossip, cooking show, music countdown, political gist, real estate palaver. Just that dream show you would love to do. Guess what? When I came in, they even made smile touch-ups on my face. Within 1 hour of my shoots, my video was ready. They have different bonanza packages. Starting from as low as 10,000 and above, you can get your video instantly or in less than 24 hours. Please, check their contacts and address on the screen.
Thank you for staying with us and welcome back from that short break. This is still Trends on LJE. I'm your host, Mohammed Eneo Sule, and joining us today is development strategist, Mr. Shedrack Oka. Thank you for joining us. It's been a while.
Thank you for having me.
All right. And of course, a political and society analyst, Mr. Hope Joseph. Joe, it's been a while. Thank you for coming.
Very grateful to be here. Thank you.
All right, quite very interesting topics today. The GEH GEH University, NUC, pushes to address misuse of the term university on social media. A coalition of academics, students, alumni, and concerned citizens has issued a strong protest urging the National Universities Commission, NUC, to take immediate regulatory action against social media comedians and content creators who use the term university. The coalition, citing parody institutions like GEH GEH University and Blessing CEO University, stated that such a usage is not harmless for entertainment, but it is a threat to integrity of Nigerian higher education. Dr. Charles Eke, spokesperson for the Coalition for Protection of Academic Integrity in Nigeria, emphasized that the term university is a legally protected designation and allowing comedians to use it dilutes its meaning and disrespects the years of dedication and excellence behind genuine academic institutions. The coalition demands include a public condemnation by the NUC, the issuance of a cease and desist order to defending social media accounts and collaboration with social media platforms to enhance compliance. Mr. Shedrack, what are your thoughts on this? Because, of course, many people have said that the term university, it's not a Nigerian concept, but here you have them saying that the NUC has the right, since these people are working within the Nigerian space. So what's your thought on the entire GEH GEH issue? Is he doing the right thing? And is NUC doing the right thing in this case?
Well, when I heard that, I quickly read the press statement. And true to what you just quoted, they didn't lay claim to the rights to the usage of the word university, which is universal, but that it impedes on the rights of the usage in the Nigerian context.
Right.
And it made me laugh because, again, we are not full of surprises in the country. We are full of surprises in the country. It baffled me that they didn't query the content of what that comical, institution, online institution by GEH GEH represent. But what they are querying is the container. The word university is what they are particular about and not the content of what the message portrays. So it is very ironical In the local parlance, they will say, what does the word Nigeria university help? Who does the word university help? It is on record that over 50 or 70% of our graduates are unemployable.
Yes.
The skill or what they learn does not match with the reality today. It's also on record that over 70% of people who graduate from university are not working with what they studied. You have to work with the skill that you have gotten outside the university. So if all of this does not disturb anyone, and it is a query of the use of these comedian and skit makers, not just about the content of the message they pass, but they are querying about the usage of the word university. So it is very, very ironical, comical, and laughable. Again, I didn't know we have some passionate Nigerians that will come together, to even petition the NUC over this issue. And we have professors of universities who rig elections for politicians and still carry the name professors. They didn't petition the NUC. We have people who forged certificates in the National Assembly. As governors, there was nothing wrong. We didn't see these alumni come together to say, no, you are bastardizing the legacy of our alma mater. No, nobody is querying that. But you see, when you look at what the young man is doing, survival instinct of Nigerians, bringing out the ingenuity, the suffering that politicians and our leaders have subjected the citizens. We have to think outside the box to make ends meet. You see, and that is what they are querying about. It also surprises me that for over 2 to 3 years now, we have some young people in the social media who have been teaching women to monetize their bodies, to commercialize their bodies, and to sell their bodies as women, putting price tag. And nobody had frowned. No formal institution have come together to query even that character, defections that is going on in the country. But this young man is now going against such teaching that if women will put price tags on their body to protect their body, commercializing it, men should learn how to protect their pocket. And it is raising a lot of dust. So I don't really understand the ideology behind their query and sudden, coalition against the young man. And most of the things he said are very unfortunate, are things that, resonate with the people, with the realities of the people. So again, I want those people to look deeper than what is going on between Gege or Blessing CEO. Let them just go, swallow their ego and channel more of their powers, with the powers of their pen. Petition the NUC over professors who have been rigging election. They are there. They should derobe them of their titles. Look at politicians who have forged certificates before. They should derobe them, write things against them, withdraw their certificate, and not just dissipate all of your energy on the comical aspect of what is giving Nigerians hope. Without these guys, I can assure you, there will be a lot of suicide. People will be committing suicide all around the place. But they are even producing jobs. I challenge the speaker of that coalition, Professor Eke. How many people has he employed? I don't want to read about him, but I want to challenge him between him and these guys who provide more job for the people, who put money in the pockets of Nigerians as of today. These guys have developed, content that gives people life, means of livelihood. So they should not dramatize the issue. It is okay when they want to look at this issue, look at the content. When you graduate from the university, before they give you a certificate, they say, haven't qualified in learning and character. It goes pari passu, not just focusing on the learning and the issue of character. The moral decadence in the society, it does not concern them. And they are worried about protecting the word university. It could be institute. It could be GEH Institute of Wisdom and Understanding. So they don't have problem with that. Just about university. Come on. Today, 21st century, it doesn't really matter. People have been focusing on certificate and not just about the university as a word. They should grow up beyond their sentiment.
Thank you so much, as always. Of course, Mr. Hope, the current GEH University in question has broken a lot of records concerning membership, viewership. Over 300,000 people watched this, and according to many critics, it's only the poor men that actually watch these things. But from statistics, the money made from this live stream show that these monies were gotten from people donating because they actually love what the young man is doing. For you, do you think the actions of the NUC would and these concerned academics, would it affect what is motivating this gentleman. And we're still going to come back to talk about the messages Gege is sending, including Saida Borj and Blessing CEO. Right. But for you, do you think this would actually, make him stop what he's doing?
Section 39 of the 1999 Constitution clearly stipulates to this effect,
right,
that every citizen have the right of freedom of expression. You have the right of opinion. You have the right of information. This is the fundamental right of Gege to express himself.
Right.
That is a mere statement. They have not even taken the matter to court. If they let them take the matter to court, let's see how serious they are. In the sense that, now let's look at what is the philosophy behind GEH University. Men, women, work hard. You are becoming a liability if you don't support your men. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, the economy of the Nigeria proposes to that. I mean, everybody understands how economy is. So he's encouraging women to work hard. I've not seen him asking people go and steal. He's not asking people to go sell drugs. He's only telling you, as a woman, work hard. As a man, don't use the little one you have, to spend on women. They don't want to be fruitful for themselves. And that is working for a lot of people. For me, there are a lot of things Nigeria's government should even look into. Why are they not spending time to talk about the rate of examination malpractice? Why are they not spending time to say if you involve in examination malpractice, these are the things that will be done to you? Why are they leaving these things and even giving this guy more publicity? Because when you do things like this, guys say, so government can be so, for things that are not, so frivolous and will not amount to anything at the end of the day. These are an exercise that you will be asking, why do we do all this? What they stand to gain? Because it's using the word university. It is out of pain. Enviness. I heard somebody said it will bring down, you make the mockery of university. That is not true. That is not true. Because he himself is not advocating for people not to go to school. He is saying, once you are done with school, the little money you have, spend it on yourself, manage your resources, avoid women. And let me also say this. There are agents of social change. Media is part of agent of change. Social media has come to stay, which form parts of the media. These things he's doing is part of change that the society is part of what the socialization is all about. Media plays a very major role. So coming out to say they were going to do this to him, they regulate it, we are watching. But I feel that is just a mere threat. It will not amount to anything. He has his lawyer. Let them do what they have to do and see whether it will stop. And let them not forget, once people accept that philosophy and want to go about it, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing they can do. Saida Borj has come out with her own university. With Blessing CEO, it's about relationship. Saida Borj is supporting women. You have to depend on men. Men are meant to take care of the women. People are enjoying the cruise. And you can't take away people that joy and peace and the laugh that they see from these content creators. There are a lot of things Nigerians should spend time to talk about, not things like this. When you read things like this, you'll be asking yourself, how does it affect the economy? How does it affect the situation on ground? People sit on the ground, watch the way and manner this guy talks. Issue of comedy and comedy has always been there. We have had several of them come and go, and we enjoy what they preach.
Thank you very much. Gege reminds me of Fela Anikulapo Kuti. Despite how Fela was dressing and the way he appeared, wasn't really pleasing, to a very, very responsible person. But years after his death, people are beginning to extract some of his songs, and they're really meaning to it. Mr. Shedrack, looking at the definition of love, marriage, religion, a parent once mentioned that still in line with GEH University and Saida Borj University, that she sends her son to school and her son, is dating someone. She is taking responsibility of her son. And then you have a daughter, and now your daughter expects my son to take care of her because they're in a relationship. A response to that could be, what level of discipline should be, upheld by even young boys in the university level, should they even go into a relationship in the first place? And if they want to do that, Saida Borj, on the other hand, is saying they should be financially capable of going into relationships. So how do we balance this? Although Gege himself has been, the only thing critique he can have is his use of foul language. I don't know to what extent that actually, defeats his message. But of course, it's positive because obviously many boys, just like you mentioned in your brief speech, that many boys are getting depressed. Some of them are ever going into ritualism just to afford, dating. So in summary, what do you say about this current trend between both Side Aborja and Gege in this case?
Well, I have said already that in the university, once you graduate of 4 years or 5 years or 6 years, as the case may be, they will say, haven't qualified in learning and character. It is very important. We should not just take the learning and throw away the character. For me, what Gege symbolizes for me is dealing with the issue of character. Most of the things he said deals about character. We have seen this guy continuously pull down the Yahoo syndrome and say there is no need in the 21st century going into Yahoo. There's a lot of things you can do with your head. He used himself to preach this thing. And nobody's commending him and they are taking up on him on this. This young guy said, you cannot sponsor a woman that is not your wife. He didn't preach against a wife. So you cannot continue to sponsor a woman, another person's daughter, or a student in the university, and leaving yourself. He said, man, invest in yourself. You have siblings. He said, those are your responsibilities, not another man's daughter. Take care of yourself. When you are okay, then you open. I mean, the things he said, they are real. Over 80% of people resonate with this thing he said, the reality. He has said something here, which we borrow from the European culture. Today, you sponsor people, wives to the Europe, and when they boot you out of your own house. He is saying, if women can pay 20 million to sponsor a wedding, the rate of divorce will reduce. And it is true. We may like it or hate it. It is because he's using foul language. That is communication, strategy in communication. To get the audience that he needed, he needs to use a language that endears to them. There is nothing wrong about that. I have said most of the things, 80% of the things that Gege says, pastors preach it, imams say it, motivational speakers say it on suit and tie. But because they speak in the language that does not relate with the Gen Zs. Nobody is talking about it. But he uses the communication strategy that endears to the communication, to the audience of his message. And that is why people are looking at it. So the issue of language, yes, a lot of vulgar here and there. But again, the positives outweighed those minorities. Those languages we are running away from. It is every day. We hear it every day. People say it every day. In our music, trending and winning awards every day. They use those things there. What is Nyash all about? Comedians joke with Nyash, even to the president, with dignity seated, and they'll just clap their hand because everybody likes Nyash. Is that a pleasant language? 30 years ago, can you talk about breasts and buttocks in public? Who said that? But today it is a regular thing. But because he is using it to pass positive message, and the people are correlating, I don't see anything wrong with what he's doing. Yes, I'm not his fan, but I can agree that over 80% of the things he says are real. They resonate. I can say women should learn to be independent. That's what he's preaching. Go and make money, study. Don't depend on man. Man, you are not the responsibility of the man. That's what he's saying. Even in marriage, he's saying so. And people, even in the religious setting, they will quote Bible erroneously. That say the man who cannot take care of his family that is not what the Bible says. If you cannot, both man and woman. So people should stop all of those wrong philosophy. Like my colleague here said, what is the ideology and the philosophy of the GEH University of Wisdom and Understanding? It's preaching independence, that men should be wise in spending. That is the underlying. But what is the philosophy of the Nigerian education system today? Nothing. We don't have an education philosophy. We don't have. And this young guy has something that promotes and coordinates what he's saying, his teachings. What is the philosophy of the Nigerian education system today? Tomorrow we'll change from 3334. Next tomorrow we are writing WAEC with lamps. Technical glitch in JAM and WAEC in 21st century. And what all we are writing is coalition of some academic writing against a Gege. And they left WAEC, that people wrote WAEC. And a student committed suicide because of a malfunctioning of JAM. And it is nothing to query about. They are talking about Gege. Please, they should just relax. It is not today. Over 50 years ago, comedy is a business that is ancient long, both in Europe and everywhere. So, let me not just end it.
All right, Mr. Hope, final note for the girl child out there who feel probably a threat that they're no longer going to be cared for by the opposite sex. So what's your advice to, women out there concerning this? I mean, you're a married person, so can love still function without a man actually committing his finances into the relationship?
Why not? Love can still function. It's just that, from we used to have prostitute, now hookup. Hookup is on increase. Why do we have hookup? Because a lot of women feel that they're entitled to get money from man as long as they sell their body. And get a philosophy. What can you offer apart from your body? It's only your body. Sorry to use, I don't want to use that term.
Yes.
We're talking about the only thing, anything they talk is your body. What can you offer? It's your body. He is saying you can think beyond that. You can think beyond that. You shouldn't depend on a man. And this is mostly in this country. Gege will tell you that it's mostly in Nigeria. If you go to other countries, it's not like that. That's what he's saying. Why is it that when you come to Nigeria, people see relationship as a means of making money? That is just what he's saying. Relationship should not be a means of exploiting people. It's not a means of living. It shouldn't be like, once I'm in a relationship, I'm entitled to make money instead of me to go and work for myself. And I feel, so he's trying to kill that sense of entitlement that once I reach 18 years old, men are supposed to provide for me. Now, Gege is saying, I've traveled other countries. It's not done that way. Then why am I saying this is my country? Then there must be a change. So for a female child, they should understand. You should work. You can still work and go to school. This thing has been there. You can work, go and learn skill. While you're learning the school, you can do. If you cannot go to school, go and do business. You can still do it. As a matter of fact, the third arms of government that your very dark man has come out with, and we all know he's not educated, but you cannot take away the fact that people are needed. And if he says fourth arms of government, he has said it and he's making use of it. So if they come out to say, I want to form a Gege philosophy, let's look at the philosophy behind it. Easy, and it's helping a lot of people. Seriously, if you want to think deep, let's forget our sentiments and other things. Just sit down and think deep. So many young men today have spent so much, have wasted their resources in the name of love. They have wasted around so many women to have abused their bodies. They feel, see, as long as I'm 18 years old, I need to go sleep around because men have to take care of me. But when this thing, it all started with Stingy Men Association of Nigeria.
Yes.
That philosophy became, somebody came and said, Stingy Men Association. Somebody said, I belong to Stingy Men. But that did not fly. So Gege I think he took after all that. He took from that realm and step up the game and now communicate with the language that Gen Z, just like he said, we understand. That's why you use some of this power language to create that communication. But he's saying the truth. So for the female child, it's high time we started to look down and look into our potentials as female child. Engage in skills, learn work. If you cannot go to school, go and learn a skill and learn to take good care of yourself. So that by the time you get married, you can play that role of supportiveness, just like he's saying, to your husband, knowing fully well that marriage is for two, not just for one person to benefit.
Thank you so much. Before we go on that short break, to the young girls out there, of course, love can exist if you actually bring in value. I take example from the Super Falcons, where many Nigerians are celebrating Alozie. She was a footballer at the same time, a medical personnel. That's the kind of value we're talking about. Again, for every woman out there, just remember that we're here for you. If you face any violation, do report it here on LJE. And the show continues after the break. Do stay.
Hi guys. So I came across a studio here in Abuja where you can just walk in and shoot any video of your choice. Podcast sessions, talk shows, and even live programs. They have beautiful colored lights. You can choose the one you want. They have teleprompter in case you want to read from a script. You can bring in your guests or someone you would love to talk to. You can do football gist, celebrity gossip, cooking show, music countdown, political gist, real estate palaver. Just that dream show you would love to do. Guess what? When I came in, they even made smile touch-ups on my face. Within 1 hour of my shoots, my video was ready. They have different bonanza packages starting from as low as 10,000 and above. You can get your video instantly or in less than 24 hours. Please check their contacts and address on the screen.
Welcome back from that short break. This is still Trends on LJE. And in our next story, NLC opposes proposed salary hike for political office holders. The NLC has condemned a proposed salary increase for political office holders by the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission RMAFC, describing it as insensitive, unjust, and inequitable. In a statement, the NLC president, Comrade Joe Ajero, argued that the plan is a slap struggling workers and would only deepen poverty and widen inequality. He noted that this exercise is coming at a time of promotion and salary freezes in most public sectors, and when workers are forced to survive on a minimum wage of 70,000 naira, the NLC has demanded that the RMFC make the current earnings of all political office holders public, and the commission to put on the hold this exercise before it triggers a tsunami of public anger. Wow. This is a huge topic. Do you believe the NLC has a valid point, or the proposed safety increase is justified given the responsibilities of political office?
Of course, they have a valid point, but what I don't think they have is a valid power to push this to stay, because they have tried several times. All we see is just a lot of noise and less of action. I wish this is coming from the people. And I want to believe that with our support, people like VDA who are advocating for fourth or fifth or sixth arm of government will come to stay, where people will be mobilized to the reality of the powers that they have, guaranteed by the Nigerian Constitution, to enforce some of these agitations, to a standstill. But I'm not surprised that a government that is being led by a president who is considered to be one of the richest men in Nigeria, having the resources of Lagos in his pockets, but after serving for 8 years and controlling government of Lagos State for over 24 years, will still allocate to himself, pension that is very alarming, more than the total, wage rate of the entire, civil servant in Lagos State, allocating houses and cars to themselves. And you want to think that if such a person has come to become the president, he will play down on all of these things. But less than 2 months, what we see is allocation of resources to his wife, his children, and a lot of things, and being fingered, including closest members of his family and children, fingered in a lot of contracts, scam in government, giving huge amount of contract to his business associates. And if we don't want to pretend, there is no way your best friend is the one getting one of the biggest contracts in Nigeria, and somebody will not know that it is you that actually have that contract. I said we just want to pretend and kid ourselves. So if NLC, they are trying to talk down on what the Revenue Allocation and Mobilization Commission have proposed for political office holders, they should not look far. If you want to touch the eye, you don't scramble at the feet of the man. You go straight to the head. So you should know where that is coming from. It's from the leadership, current leadership, greedy leaders that we have today. When people like Peter Obi talk, they say you are washing our linen in the open. But he said this linen are already out there in the open. There is nothing to hide about. But every day, the actions that we see our people, I say, mockery of the sensibility of Nigerians. It's very appalling, but they click to me as people who are drunk. And no wonder RFI once proposed for a psychiatric test for all public service holders, because it doesn't make sense that we are struggling to implement a 70,000 minimum. We're struggling to implement it. It's with pain, but people are talking about raising, salaries for political service holders. It is very appalling, and it makes me cry and bleed in my heart every day. But what do? They should go ahead and do it, because while I see this labor does not have the capacity to contain the government if they want to do that.
Thank you very much. Mr. Hope, do you think politicians deserve this particular increase? I mean, some would argue that they are people too,
First, if they have to increase their salary, so what are the yardstick? Are you paying a two-term former governor of a state and a speaker salary? Or is it that Jonathan Amechi said the economy is affecting him? It was Wike that replied him. And a two-term speaker, and a minister, and a speaker, the state assembly, and a minister, and two-term governor will come and tell you that he doesn't have money. It's not true. Most of these people in the House of Representatives, most of these politicians, they have held political office many years ago, and they have made so much money you and I can know. It's quite unfortunate. NLC is just a toothless bulldog. We know they can't do anything. You just say, let them look at media, bully. Like, I don't know, backing. They're just media just coming out to look as if they are still there. We know they will end up doing nothing. This is not the first time. As a matter of fact, the NLC, as far as I'm concerned, the body is not existing. So they have come out to now, so what will happen next? You see, a high time politicians should also have sympathy on citizens of Nigeria. This mindset of kleptomaniac lifestyle, that you have so much money, you still want to steal. This greedy has become like a cankerworm that has eaten deep into the fabric of every government, parastatal, and agency. You have so much money, you keep stealing the money. Okay, they should propose for life pension if this is what they want. They should go on. I mean, the federal government, they should propose for it. I mean, politicians in office shouldn't be a permanent job. It's supposed to be something like a part-time business. You just come and hold the office. After a while, you leave. That is the best how it's supposed to be. So you give chance for other people to stay. Why can't they say if you have lasted in politics for 20 years, relax, leave the system? And why can't they do with that policy? Why can't they say, if you have held political position, once you hold a governor position for 8 years, don't contest for any other political office? Why can't they say that? Okay, why can't they say, if you have held this position of position, you should, no matter what, if you hold position for over 10 years, don't go into politics again. Why can't they say that? I know somebody will say, we need experience to be able to do this. No, that's what they will say. So when you see things happening like this, you will pity for our country, and you will pity. When NLC says certain things like this, I know it will not end. Or it's meeting of 2 days, nothing will happen. What has NLC done for Nigeria since okay, let me not say since, for this, the last 10 this thing, governor and current one, nothing. There's nothing. You see, today the government will increase fair price, and tomorrow they will do it the way they like. Unless they are just watching. So the point I'm making is that let them continue. They can even call for life pension and be eating. Let them continue, because this country, God created them to come and be embezzling fund and eat the money until the day they will depart this planet Earth. Let them ask for life pension. So somebody like Tinubu that have become governor, become a senator, after president, will still be requesting for increase of salary. No wonder the CBN governor came out to say the other time, my salary is 10,000 times better than Tinubu. Can you imagine? Is that your problem? What have you talked? Have you talked about the Joes in local governments? How much they are collecting? Have you talked about the teachers? Have you also talked about that some states have not been able to implement the 70,000 minimum wage? You can't talk about that. All you can say is that my salary is 10,000 bigger than the one of Tinubu. Does Tinubu, a man like that, President Tinubu, does he even need money again? Should he even be receiving salary? No, let's be serious. Should he even be receiving salary at his level, as his status, as a president of this country, with all his money he has made in this country? Does he even need to be talking about salary? He should not. No, he can. Does somebody like Senator Fabio need to talk about salary? Does somebody like Wike need to talk about salary? And many others in that place, should they be talking about salary? These are people that have made billions of naira. Billions of naira, my brother. They should not be talking about somebody's salary.
Thank you so much for that passionate response. On our next story, Falana demands EFCC transfer recovered the 32.7 billion naira to the NSIPA. The senior advocate of Nigeria and human rights lawyer Femi Falana has urged the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to immediately transfer 32.7 billion naira recovered from officials of the ministry. In addition, he also mentioned $445,000 US. And the ministry is concerned is the Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development to the National Social Investment Program Agency, NSIPA, for proper use. In a public statement issued through his Alliance on Surviving COVID-19 and Beyond Forum, Falana noted that the recovered funds are the exact sum Bola Tinubu approved for the implementation of the National Social Investment Program. He stressed that redirecting the money to NSIPA would help alleviate the hardship faced by over 133 million multidimensionally poor Nigerians. First question goes to you, Mr. Hope. What are the legal, ethical implications of Falana's demand? Should the recovered funds be immediately disbursed to NSIPA or should they remain with the EFCC?
Yeah, first and foremost, let's not look as if every time I want to first and foremost commend the EFCC, but not in total, for what they have done in NNPCL. They were able to recover about 200 billion, $200 million from the former MDs of EFCC, of NNPCL. And the chairman of EFCC have been able to record about 4,100 conviction. You see, my problem is not about recovering of money. Section 15 sub 5. There's the government of the country should at all time abolish all forms of corruption. But it will not end up in recovering of funds. What about punishment for the offenders? Why do we recover money and let the offenders go like that? I mean, why do we recover money, stolen money? This person has been indicted and he has come out to say, okay, this is how much we have recovered from him. Why do we not let the person go? We now come out with the process of plea bargaining. Okay, please, you begging a thief to refund money, government fund. You are begging a thief and say, please, out of 10, refund 5. We'll let you take 5. So that will make peace. They call it plea bargaining. So you keep recovering fund. What about those that stole the fund? You go to other countries like China, you dare not do this. Korea, you dare not do that. They'll sentence you to death or life imprisonment. But in Nigeria, you still, so we are tired of recovering of fund. Okay, you have recovered the fund. What has been done to those involved in stealing of these funds? Because if you don't punish people to serve as a deterrent to others, the corruption, the local, I would say corruption, will continue. So if we are fighting corruption, let's fight it to the end. You have convicted people. How many have you convicted? How many have been sentenced to life imprisonment? If the punishment, you put up measures, punitive punishment, so that people will not, to deter people from stealing. Now, going back to the question, you say, well, for me, it's like a clear on call. You know, they should do the right thing. But we know, on the process of doing the right thing, they will still see fund. As a matter of fact, recently, EFCC have also, arrested even their members for involving in corruption, selling, still taking the money they arrested from the people. It's there on record. They go out there to arrest their staffs that have been collecting money from the proceeds of what they have seized to also enrich themselves. What a country. What a country are we living? So if case not taken, that money is asking to what are the yardsticks? Okay, if you're going to put it there, what are the things they are going to invest? Who is going to benefit at the end of the day? You'll be so sure they will see you investing in the pocket of thieves. Look at NNPC. After collecting so much amount of money, every time maintenance, they collect maintenance fee every day. They will say, oh, billions of naira up to now, the refinery is not working. At the end of the day, just a few weeks ago, when they arrested former MDs, billions of dollars, where are they? They've allowed them. You will not hear anything about them. We can't grow like this. So for me, it's just a clear on call. The EFCC, let's look at their reaction. They may choose to, they may choose not to. But it's a clear on call. Okay, invest the money. Abacha's loot. We have been investing the money, all the subsidy money. They have been investing it. What about, then after investing the money, they still travel out of the country to treat themselves. Primary health care in most of these local governments is nothing to write them about. You go and see structure, even the one in the Abuja here, you cry, you shed tears, you still go, you not see drugs in most of these hospitals. These are realities. So where are they investing the money to?
Thank you so much, Mr. Shedrack. What precedent will be set if EFCC were to transfer the required fund as demanded?
My colleague has spoken so much about the EFCC and the drama of the anti-corruption era in Nigeria. I once wrote a proposal to the EFCC for term review. EFCC, as at 2022, was 20 years old. So, and I feel that they should organize a term review for the EFCC to look at the, scorecard of EFCC so that we can be able to, bring it up to speed with the current realities, look at their shortfalls and all that, implement it. But unfortunately, the man for which I brought the proposal before, who was the senior special advisor to the president on prosecution, Okoy Obunga, who happens to be my older brother. What happened? The moment he got the beautiful proposal, he was kicked out of office for attempting to, go after some big thieves in the society who are friends of government. Malami, his former boss, what is his name? The former attorney general, went after him, and before you know it, he was being chased, all over the place. And of course, on Channels Television a few weeks ago, he said in the interview that one of those big thieves that stole over $60 billion, that he met his own wife in a public function and said, "Where is your husband?" He is claiming to be an anti-corruption guy. Where is he? The man was boasting. That is the country we find ourselves today. So for me, it is not the issue of transfer the money from EFCC to wherever. That is not the big deal. Where is the former Minister of Humanitarian Affairs? So we know when she served in the National Assembly under Kume's office as a youth corps member. It is only in Nigeria that you see somebody sleep as a puppet and wake up as a billionaire. There was a young man selling recharge card in Buhari's house in Katsina who became, an aide to President Muhammad, but 2 years after he became a billionaire in dollars. Where is he today? Where are the people that stole all our money in this current administration? My sister happens to be a victim of it, the former Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Dr. Betta Edu, who did so well because she functioned in the area of her capacity as a doctor, commissioner. He was first the head of a DG primary health care in Cross River State and then commissioner for health. She did fantastic work. At 40, she became the national woman leader of APC, did well, and then she entrusted her with humanitarian affairs. What happened? We all know the stories behind her removal. A lot of ministers were fingered. The chief of staff to the current president was fingered in the entire matter. One of the directors who embezzled over 40-something billion into her personal account. But today, because she came from Cross River State, she was booted out of office. What happened to the rest of the people? A part at the back. Cross River had 2 ministers. She was booted out and she was not replaced. And you see a minister like Senator John Owaneno, who was House of Rep 2 times, a senator and a governor aspirant, and today relegated to be a junior minister. And Ogun State have 4 ministers, and we are fighting corruption in the country. This money you're talking about came from humanitarian affairs. What happened to the people indicted? Betta Edu was sent out of office with the same. What about the other people fingered in this same corruption act of corruption? What happened? They pat to the back because money changed hands. Ethnicizing the fight of corruption, anti-corruption. EFCC stands for Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. We are dealing with money, financial. What of the economic crime? Money was disbursed for COVID-19 to solve issues of hunger. You stole the money, finance. How about the economic crime against the people committing genocide, people who died as a result of palliative not given to them? We silent over it, and we are fighting corruption. We are jokers. But again, I will continue to say, it is not a mistake that all of these abnormalities exist, where you have the very people we have entrusted leadership with are also people with criminal records. People with criminal records. We know when Akpabio, it was rumored that he entered night bus to become a commissioner at Kwai after 8 years, he's billionaire in dollars. Only in Nigeria. Only in Nigeria. Is it the current chief of staff? They all have criminal record all over the place. If we cannot sanitize ourselves from people with corrupt tendencies, who have a past record of criminality that have not repented, how can we have sanity in our leadership? It is not possible. It is not possible. And it is never going to happen. We had a minister of aviation who sold a logo for over how many billion and scammed Nigeria with a borrowed aircraft, painted it, collected all the billions, and today it was scam. Festus Kemo talked about it, but what happened? That young man is still there. The toothless EFCC will be chasing Yahoo boys up and down because of plea bargain to have money that they could buy houses all over the place, all over the world. What on earth would the civil servant who collect less than 500,000 naira be sending their children in Harvard? And you want a soothsayer to tell us who is corrupt and who is not corrupt in the country? We are just jokers. Like I said again, let them keep doing it. A time is coming. All this one they are chasing Shuri up and down because a revolution is coming. When it will come, I can tell you there will be no hiding place for anybody. I don't pray to have it that bad, but I also pray that it should come. Without blood, spilled of blood, there is no remission. There will be no redemption. People will die. But one day, if they don't sit up to repent over this corruption that they are parading as a system now would have come to stay, as a culture, one day it will come, it will consume all of us. But it is not a good reputation at all. I just charge the EFCC boss to live above board, to continue to do what he is doing. The issue for me, left for me alone, I will propose that any money that is being confiscated, we should channel it into some very critical infrastructure like education, health issues should be channeled. Like anytime money is being seized, we focus on building world-class hospitals that is affordable for the people across the 774 local government. We can afford it. Anytime money is being seized like that, we can channel it into our primary and secondary schools for free education. Nigerians should have free education from primary to secondary school with a developed curriculum that entails all those video editing and all of those life skills, so that after secondary school, you don't have need to be in the university. 70% of the people can have life skill from secondary school, JSS3 and SS3, that they can now fall back to and start living their lives. For me, if you channel it, all proceeds of corruption into that, you will have, a long way to go healing ourselves. But nothing serious. Falana should keep doing what he's doing. God help Nigeria.
Thank you so much. Don't forget, you can be a part of the conversation by dropping a comment on our social media platforms on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. In our final story for today, Benue Assembly Speaker resigns amidst political turmoil. The Speaker of the Benue State House of Assembly, Andona Dajo, has resigned from his position. In a resignation letter dated August 24, 2025, Dajo stated that his decision was made in good faith and in the best interest of the state. His resignation follows a period of political turmoil which saw the suspension of 4 lawmakers, including his newly elected replacement, Alfred Berger, for 6 months following an alleged attempt to impeach him. The Assembly, in an emergency plenary session, elected Alfred Berger as the new Speaker, setting aside his suspension. Wow. Question for the panel. Given the recent political events in Benue, what do you think this resignation means to, for the political landscape? Is this a sign of stability or a sign of a deeper crisis for the polity?
Yeah, Section 14 talks about that Federal Republic of Nigeria shall be ruled based on principle of democracy and social justice. When it all started, we thought it was a joke, and we are shocked to where it has led us to. As a matter of fact, it has opened to show us the level of democracy, how we understand what democracy is all about. The State House have an oversight function, because it all started when the governor, nominated 8, commissioners. The final function to scrutinize, to know if they are worthy of character, to be able, to handle that political office, which is the standard and what the Constitution recommends. Only for the Speaker said, look, there are 2 people that are not qualified. One was a former local government chairman. There is a case of fund embezzlement, which I feel this guy has a question to answer. Number 2, this man has been a lecturer. He has been accused of rape and victimization of students. He has a case to answer. Therefore, not qualified to be in this position. What did he do wrong? He saddled with that responsibility as a speaker to carry out an oversight function, to scrutinize the people you nominated to be confirmed as a commissioner. And after all that, after said and done, the political brouhaha started. From there, factions, this, impeachment, there and there. One thing that politicians don't know is about posterity will speak. It's not about now. It's about what the future holds and what people know you for. I want to thank I'm not saying they are holy people. I'm not saying, I'm not coming to preach holy that they are perfect. No, 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 no. But for this mere exercise of trying to uphold the integrity of democracy and hope of democracy is something I really value. For him not to allow, because what you need to understand, most of these state governors, they want to capture the National Assembly. It shouldn't be so. There's what we call doctrine of separation of powers. Exactly. So you can checkmate the judiciary, checkmate the executive checkmate the legislature, and that is how that is the beauty of democracy. Checks and balances. So what that is the doctrine that should operate in all states. That's why we have state of assembly there. So if the state of assembly said the commissioners you nominated to me, they are not qualified, I think the governor should look into that. Why are they not qualified? But he went on and felt, even though the governor has come out to say, I don't have hands in it. I don't have hands in it. If you don't have hands in it, then why are you still forcing people to come back? These guys have records. The records are there. For crying out loud. The records are there. They are clearly stated. You now want to interfere in the affairs of the state of assembly, knowing fully well they are carrying out the constitutional right. So, kudos to that job for the job well done. For me to step down instead of him to be, to be controlled, because it shouldn't be so. That is why the country cannot grow. When I see the speaker and the president sitting down to dine, and the president is telling you, I want to appoint this person, I want this person to be the speaker. How would you do? How then, if the president has appointed the speaker and the speaker has come out to say, I want to work for the president, then you mean we are not going anywhere. So he has said he has to resign for sake of peace, for sake of unity, for the growth of democracy, so that life will not be lost. So let him rest. Let them continue with their lifestyle of leadership.
Thank you very much. Mr. Shadrach, on the final note, what do you think will be the immediate impact of the resignation of this Benue State?
What impacts? We are not politically naive. We know how the speaker himself came up. After the general elections, we know that his political godfather, who is now the SGF, Akume, had his choice candidate to become speaker. But we saw the governor right there in the Halo chambers of the Benue State House of Assembly, seated to make sure his own candidate emerged. And that was the beginning of the crisis between Akume, who is his political godfather, and the governor. It's the same guy that today is up and against with the governor. In politics,
no permanent friend. No
exactly. You only have permanent interests. That is what has just come to play. So for us, we are not perturbed. We are not being disturbed because it's a business of some selfish entity. But something remarkable about the speaker who resigned, like my colleague pointed, we had queried a few months ago about the state capture where the president is attempting to run a one-state party state. But these haven't been defeated, turned into the assembly now, where from the National Assembly, the people call it rubber stamp, but it is even worse. The other day it was Kogi State House of Assembly, where a former governor was mandating all assembly members that do not question, do not read through the lines. Anything that the governor sends to you must be approved. That is state capture. It happened in Lagos. We saw what Obasa did. It happened in Ondo State and then in Plateau State. So an attempt, to completely eradicate one arm of the government, as strong as the legislative arm of government is, you want to now merge it to become a puppet to the executive. That is what we are up against. So that is a very, very sad, narrative on the table. But for this man, like my colleague said, the future have documented his action. You cannot bring somebody who have allegation, written strong petition by his own students against him. Come on. Are we that desperate? Are we that daft? Are we that dumb? But people are desperate for power. They can do anything. But the governor, let's see what he does. He prides himself as a clergy, but we have seen everything. And the future is documenting everything about. He's not the first, clergy to become a governor. One ended in the EFCC. And then he has a lot of things. So for us in Nigeria, it's not about religion this time around, but people should just live above board and do the right thing. It's very, very sad that such a thing is coming up, even in Benue State with Father Hyacinth Alea. it's not supposed to be. But this is our sad reality, which is a reflection of the Nigerian situation. Very unique to Nigeria itself alone. Washing their dirty linen, but always picking up on commentators that now speak to the reality so that people's eyes should be open. They will say, accuse you of demarketing Nigeria. But by their very action, they are not just demarketing Nigeria, but they are trying to erode Nigeria from the Committee of Nations, which is the pride of Africa, the giant of Africa. But we are a laughing stock among the Committee of Nations. Very unfortunate, but we pray and hope that Nigeria should rise up. Everything starts and ends with leadership. So we have an opportunity in 2027, both from the State House of Assembly to the presidency, to change and elect whom we want, stand to defend our vote. That is my advocacy today for all Nigerians.
Thank you so much. We've been speaking to development strategist, Mr. Shedrack Oka. Thank you so much for making it to the studio today. And of course, society and political analyst, Mr. Hope Joseph Joe. Thank you so much for making it here today. That's the end of today's episode of Trends, a major look at our top stories. We told you about GEH GEH University and NUC pushed to address misuse of the term university on social media. NLC opposes proposed salary hike for political office holders. Falana demands EFCC transfer recovered 32.7 billion naira and $445,000 to the NSIPA. And finally, Benue Assembly Speaker resigns amidst political turmoil. Do join us again on Wednesday for fresh episodes of Trends. Don't forget you can be a part of the conversation by dropping your comments on our social media platform at LJE Nigeria on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. I'm Mohammed Sile. Enjoy the rest of your week. Be productive and stay safe.
Hi guys! So I came across a studio here in Abuja where you can just walk in and shoot any video of your choice, podcast sessions, talk shows, and even live programs. They have beautiful colored lights. You can choose the one you want. They have teleprompter in case you want to read from a script. You can bring in your guests or someone you would love to talk to. You can do football gist, celebrity gossip, cooking show, music countdown, political gist, real estate palaver. Just that dream show you would love to do. Guess what? When I came in, they even made smile touch-ups on my face. Within 1 hour of my shoots, my video was ready. They have different bonanza packages. Starting from as low as 10,000 and above, you can get your video instantly or in less than 24 hours. Please check their contacts and address on the screen.